Hello everyone and welcome to the LSI F1 World Championship. We're today for the Mexican Grand Prix, round 4 of the championship before Austria, and then we will head to the first season break. This is a circuit that is either loved or hated, nothing in between in this brand new game. Of course I say brand new, F1 23. There is a little bit more grip. That being said, it is still Mexico, which is very, very low grip, and many drivers do not find it quite as nice as probably actually is in real life. Anyway, Nifojan's just set the fastest lap of the session so far as the circuit is drying up. You can see on board with Cohen. I say that, you can't really see it drying up to be honest, but apparently it is started to dry up later on in the session. Apparently that is why, not why, apparently that is what is happening. So that is maybe why Nifo's just managed to bang that lap in. That being said, we know that they are a quick driver anyway, and they will be capable of that kind of lap time. Cohen is about to start their next lap to try and see if they can get a pole position today. Zingy is not racing, so we have the potential for a new race winner. I don't believe Cohen has ever won an LSI F1 race. Heischler's won a sprint race, and then we have Nifojan definitely won races, Becken has won a race, Igor's won races, and PJ has won races. Other than that, I believe that is it. I don't think Dave Raptors has won an F1 race. Who won Mexico? Not Mexico, round 1, round 2, round 3. Thingy won round 3. Round 2 went to, by the way, invalidation. I can't remember, you know. Anyway, doesn't matter. We will continue. Cohen lets the Alfa Romeo in front go ahead, and he's just going to continue on his merry way. I assume he's hoping to maybe be able to get into the pit lane and go again, or is he just going to try and back off a little bit and then go again very shortly? We will find out, but he hasn't got that long left in the session to actually go, and then he is going to have to make a decision. So we'll watch and see. He is going to hold back and he is going to go again. We do want to watch of this man, as we know he has been pretty quick. So here it is for Cohen to try and get pole position at the Mexican Grand Prix. We've got a couple Dutchmen on the grid who are looking for this. It's P1, P2 Dutch right now, Heischler in P7. They all want to get it done. Or will it be the Swedes that manage to get the better of everyone? That's been the story in F1.5 so far this season. Tom Brainer goes and puts it on pole position by 3/10 right there. Absolutely epic. The track is definitely drying up, but I should also say his pace has been epic recently, improving massively. You can see the circuit is having that line kind of forming a bit more. Track evolution is key. Cohen's doing a pretty good job, but he's got to be a little bit tentative from last time around. He doesn't want to invalidate again because he's currently not on the front row. If he can get the front row, that will be brilliant. To be fair, P3 isn't a bad place to start the Mexican Grand Prix. Cohen through the S section now. Third sector is inbound. What can he do? A little bit of a lift as he invalidates, and that is going to be that done. Going to try and save as much energy as he possibly can, and that will be it. On board with Heischler now in the first, and is this the middle sector that he's just entered as you are crawling through, trying to get the traction down as best as possible, and he seems to be doing a pretty good job of it. We will now go and find out what he can do in the second sector. Does he have that downforce that you need? It's going to be pretty difficult to see because we're going to have a dry race, I'm pretty sure. So, you know, we're not going to see the full effort in this session, as they're going to go over the sector line now, 1.9 seconds quicker. That is a massive amount. They still need a little bit more though to try and secure it over the other drivers, but so far I believe, if I'm not incorrect, this is provisional pole. Heischler round the final corner for provisional pole in Ferrari. What's it going to be? It is going to be a 25-1. That is going to be something to try and beat. We've got Cohen who wants to get it. Are we on board with Tom Brainer, who is probably finished now? We've got Nifo here. Can anybody else have a look? Maybe Dave Raptors, but I think he's actually further behind the likes of Nifo and Cohen, so we will go on board with Cohen. Becken is going to be just behind Cohen as well, so we will find out what everybody can do. That is Igor at 25.3. Heischer got that pole, but it's only by 2/10 from Igor. What can the others do? Cohen yet again invalidating their lap time. They will not be able to improve. We're going to go on board with Becken as he will come round the final few corners. What's it going to be? Peanuts to P2, and it's going to be Becken. P1! Becken is in P1. Cohen retires. Nipojan, what can he do at the final corner? Will he challenge for pole position in Mexico? And he won't. He won't be able to do it. We've got Dave Raptors to finish off qualifying. What's it going to be? Tom Brainer is on pole position in F1. Dave Raptors steals it away. What a job. 24.7, and Tom Brainer looking so close right there. Look at P1, P2, P3, P4. That is absolutely fine margins. Wow, how about that? Dave Raptors gets pole position in Mexico, and Tom Brainer to join him on that front row. We've got Becken in P3, then Heischler in P4, P5, Peanuts. That's the rest of the grid. We'll go through the race director just in case, and then we will see you in a bit for the race. Ready, hold, go! Who's going to get it into turn one? We are finally away. Tom Brainer getting away. Well, I think that's going to be it. There's Becken having to pull to the outside of Dave Raptors, who really storms the start. Unfortunately, they drop down the order. Becken to P3, but Dave Raptors jumping back up momentarily. He's got the Ferrari on the inside to keep him company. He drops behind. Now it's going to be the Ferrari on the inside of the Alpine as Becken's trying his best to get through. Peanuts, he spots this in front, but he's actually got to go defensive on Nifojan, who is now to his outside, trying to swoop round. He's going to swoop easily. And Cohen struggling right there to try and get through. 4 wide almost, well, 4 cars all very close together. Cohen's now on the inside of Peanuts, and Peanuts is going to be not forced off the circuit, but in a very difficult situation, trying to send it on the inside, almost losing the car as they make very slight contact, but they just about get away with it. Fair play indeed. That is the opening first few sectors pretty much sorted. I say that though, Cohen's not had enough. He's going again. He's sending it a bit too hard on the inside there. And I think maybe Nifojan is going to have a few words about that one for sure. He's not very happy at all. That is lap 1 done, and Tom Brainer, after getting a perfect start to the Grand Prix, goes fastest on the soft tyre. Dave Raptors has to settle for P2. To be fair, regarding his start, he's actually recovered that really, really nicely. Heischler sitting in P4. Becken, he is going to be next up for breakfast for Cohen, who is going through. Whether anybody likes it or not, will we get Nifojan looking for the switcheroo? Can he get it on the exit? He's definitely pushing for it. He's going to have the outside line. He got Peanuts this time around last lap. He's going to give it a go again. Turn 4, turn 5 is where he wants to be. I think he's going to get it done. He has the advantage. The other Alpine had a moment to look to the inside, but other than that, it is going to be as it is. Lovely jubbly indeed. Nifojan up to P5. The two Dutchmen are making their way up, and it is a Dutch 3-4-5. Tom Brainer breaking away on this tyre. We're going to get a quick look at the tyre situation if we can, because that would be great. You can see the hard tyres for most drivers. Cohen really using these tyres to effect, and well, Tom Brainer is as well. So those softer tyre runners are really doing what exactly they need to do. JJ unfortunately having to make a recent pit stop down the order. Tom Brainer once again extending the gap. Cohen is going to be seeing the battle up front happen, and he's going to want to try and get involved, I'm sure, very soon. As we see the McLaren, Ferrari. Will he go for the inside? He kind of hesitates and backs off. I thought Heisler would have tried to get track position, but no, didn't want to do it. DRS is going to be available. No, it's not going to be available, sorry. Maybe that's why Heisler was looking to try and go through. Now, Cohen has to spot this, realise that there's some tentativeness going on, and try and take advantage of that, especially whilst being on this tyre. He has to get in front. He knows what he's got to do. He's got the pace, he's got the racecraft to get the job done. It's just whether everything goes his way. He won, or at least came P2, I believe, in an F1.5 race a while ago, where he competed. Did very well in that one. Competed as a higher tier driver, so went from the back of the grid to the front. If he can try and showcase that today, it would be awesome. Had a quick think to the inside, but didn't quite send it. Just didn't want to feel the dramas. If he can secure a good exit out of the final corner, then he can get the double overtake here. Heisler's going to be trying to go for the move on Dave Raptors, but Cohen's going to try and go for the move on Heisler. He's going to get the DRS to try and carry it through, but he's used all of his energy on the opening lap. Dave Raptors is defending, and Heisler's now going to challenge the McLaren driver. They don't do it just in the end, and actually Heisler's been caught napping. He thought he'd be able to secure it, but he wasn't just about. Has to avoid contact on the exit, and I think maybe Cohen has been a little bit too aggressive in the opening stages, misses his braking point, and he's just about going to make the corner. That was absolutely nuts right there from him. We're still watching on board. I would have liked to send that a little further back from a distance. That would have been pretty epic to see, but yeah, massive mistake there for Cohen. Luckily for him, he still has a front wing, and Heisler reacted, but also luckily for him, Nifojan didn't try and get back through. You can see that Red Bull losing the rear end, really struggling. In the meantime, Tom Brayner's only been escaping. We've got a battle between PJ and Peanuts, although there's not a battle, as Peanuts has unfortunately spun the car and lost out, so he's now down to P9. I think he's still got a front wing, so he should be still good to go. A heck of a shame, but hopefully we can see him back into this race very shortly. We are going to be looking on board with this man right here, who can see the car ahead is running low on energy, but he is also himself running low on energy. Heisler isn't going to go for the move. Oh no, Niffo makes contact. He gets a 3 second, and Cohen is round. I do not believe it. Cohen doesn't have damage. He did rejoin the circuit in an interesting way, and Nifojan does unfortunately have damage on his side. That is such a shame. Oh, what a shame for both drivers there. I don't know exactly what happened, if there was just a missed braking point or if there was an early braking point. Whatever happened, that is devastating for both of them. Nifo's going to drop down the order with their damage. Cohen had all of that work just taken away on that medium tyre. He's going to be furious. He can still come back, but he's going to have to really try and think hard and dig deep if he wants to get this one done. It is a good opportunity to get it done, as you don't have the reigning champion in your way. It's just whether he will have the resources available to him. He's got both Astons up in front immediately to try and overtake, so it's not over until it's over. I say the top two running away, the P1's running away even further. That is Heisler and Dave Raptors on their own, and that is a deliberate collision from Cohen. That is a safety car, and that will be a big, massive slam dunk penalty to his name for that one. I apologise, everybody, that we're going to have to run a safety car for that. It is what it is. Tom Brayner isn't going to be too pleased with that, because now he's just lost that gap that he's created. And then Heisler and Dave Raptors, they're going to have to think it's a little bit too early to go for a pit stop. Tom Brayner could, in theory, make a pit stop now and go to the end. So, yeah, this will be an interesting one. Once again, I'd like to apologise for that. I do apologise. It would have been nice to continue this race, but we will have a brief safety car period. Not in our control, at least. But that will be dealt with for next time. But the question is now, regardless of what's happened, what will the lead driver do? He has to go into the pit lane. He's got to make that decision. There wasn't really another option, to be honest. It was the obvious call. Is he going to go for a double medium, or is he going to go for a hard tyre? He's going for the medium. Interesting that to see the other drivers also going to that mediums immediately. I am very surprised. JJ might be happy as he'll be back in this battle. Of course, PJ as well, who is also on the hards, but I'm really surprised that those hard tyre runners have actually come in. Maybe the tyre wear is less than I thought, and everybody will be good to go to the end. It's an interesting one. It is a very interesting one. It's going to be a massive battle for strategy. Alrighty, I do apologise, we're just going to take a quick break, we'll be right back. Alrighty, we are back. Just saw very interesting scenes on our screen. You will have not seen them, but Tom Brainer lagging into the safety car a little bit. Gets away with it though, so he's all good, but it was a little bit of a scary moment, I'm sure. Everybody's on the mediums, except from one man, PJ, who's decided to stay out on this hard tyre. JJ's yet to catch up, whether he makes a pit stop or not. I think we should be able to go racing on the next lap, hopefully. I assume he's probably not going to go into the pit lane because, well, he's on the ideal tyre, really, and he has actually pitted recently more than anybody else, really. So, yeah, into the pit lane he will not go. He will continue on his merry way, and we should hopefully be racing on lap 9 out of 36. We'll be good to go. Alrighty, coming towards the third sector now. Tom Brainer leads the Grand Prix. Now he doesn't have those tyres to help him create a gap. That being said, his pace has been pretty decent in recent times, so I am very excited to see how he fares against Heischler, a very well-regarded F1 driver, and Dave Raptor's last season's F1.5 champion. We're probably going to get some late confirmation. As you can see, everybody will now bunch up very last minute, but they do react fairly nicely, so they'll be good to go. They're just going to be super careful. Tom Brainer will be the one to take the restart, and that is going to be Heischler, who will have to react the safety cars into the pit lane. He can go from any point now, and he's already gone for the restart. Lovely jubbly. Indeed, that is an awesome breakaway from him. Heischler not reacting as well as he probably would have liked to. He might get challenged by Dave Raptors if he's not careful. Dave is looking racy. He's looking to the inside line. He's going to go for the move. As he dives to the inside, he's not actually going to get it done in the end. He still spooks the Ferrari, and he will have maybe an opportunity on the exit to get the power down. Uses the energy. You can see he really does want to go for it. He was kind of thinking about it, decided no. Now he knows that it's on. It's a possibility. There's contact as they misjudge where each other's going. Did leave space on the exit, in fairness to Heischler, but they will filter out eventually, as they were anyway. And that being said, they've just given Tom Brainer a bit of breathing space, so that is perfect from him. And we've got JJ and PJ switching positions as they went almost side by side into the first S, which never is easy to do, but they single file it eventually and they get through in one piece. Nivojan P7 on the cards at the moment. He's looking to try and improve, but he's got a time penalty to his name. Obviously that was because of an incident, so we can probably, at least for now, count that as not being an incident. But it is what it is. DRS available, ERS available, DRS isn't available, my bad. That is going to be Nivo pushing in front of Peanuts, and that's going to be the only overtake on this straight. Even though it's immediately after the restart, I thought you'd probably want to try and catch some people out. But nope, it's how it goes. They're all waiting for the DRS to kick in, and it is going to be one big DRS train. PJ needs to hope that these guys fight, and they are fighting. That is Becken trying to get around the outside of Dave Raptors. They can't quite make it work. They're going to lose the car a little bit as well. That's going to be Eager Pro just behind. Not Eager Pro, so yes, it is Eager Pro just behind, but he's not able to get through either. Stays as he is in front. He can see these cars fighting. He can also see Heischler getting away. Dave Raptors not able to keep with the top two now. Heischler and Tom Brainer could actually use each other to their advantage if Dave Raptors doesn't catch up a little bit more. Of course, they were just fighting, so don't take it too harshly, Dave. But yeah, Becken's going to want to try and get through if this is the case. He can't quite do it. They're using the energy. They're really using everything they can. Heischler too far away from Tom Brainer, but still close enough. The Aston's looking racy. Yet again, Igor looking for the inside line. Peanuts has got a little bit of work to do if he wants to try and catch up. We've got JJ and PJ who are fighting. That is PJ Squirmy on the exit. JJ to the outside line. Lots of J's going on. Outside line switchback available. Is he going to try and perform it? He's looking to. He's really looking to. This is the circuit to get it done at. He's going to lose the car, and he's going to have to back off. Luckily, PJ left the space. They're still going to somehow be side by side. He's got the outside line. He's got the disadvantage. He's got the move, though. That is an awesome job there from JJ. Well done indeed. Both guys are having an absolutely amazing battle. That is the hard tyres not able to cope. Right there, you can see. Dave Raptors has done enough to catch back up to the pack. That is a top 7 train. Everybody's glued to one another. Tom Brainer leads the way. Heischler's going to try and look for a move, I'm sure. Becken still looking super quick and super close, but not quite close enough. Heischler's still not able to get there in time. He's just relaxing. He's not got that much energy to help him in the car, so he's actually going to have to try and save a bit. I believe, if I'm correct in saying, that this is a circuit that's quite hard to save ERS on, unless it's changed in recent times for this game. I believe it is definitely a circuit that is hard to save energy on. So yeah, he's going to have to spend a few laps behind the Haas driver, just help with the DRS so he doesn't have to defend too hard from the cars behind, and then he can save that energy and then go for the move in a little while. Tom Brainer leads the way. He has led Grand Prix after Grand Prix now. That is a factual statement. He hasn't won yet, but he's still led 2 Grand Prix. He does like this circuit for sure. As we saw last season, he enjoyed it massively. With the form that he showed in USA, He's continuing to bring it along with him, and he's doing a good job of it. That is Heichler now, tucking in the toe. He does want to go for the move this time round. He takes the lead. We've also got a switch up with the Alpine, but that is a bit of wheel banging between the two, as Tom Brayner's reluctant to give in. Dave Raptors is going to see that. He's going to like it. He's going to take it. And will we get a double overtake? Here goes Dave Raptors to the inside. No, he will not. He will not, but the Aston Martin will. They're going to have a look. They're trying their best to hold on. I say hold on, get in front of Becken, who's now gone down to P6 as Nipperjan follows through. What a switch up between all these guys. I did not see that coming whatsoever. Heichler leads Dave Raptors P2 with ERS to spare. He's going to be in a strong position, but that is Igor in front and Becken 2 positions down. How about that? Alrighty, let's see how this one goes. Once again, on the back straight, Dave Raptors not close enough this time. Heichler's had a brilliant first lap in clean air. Awesome job from him. No one else is looking to really make an overtake. Maybe we could see Niffer. He's closest, I would assume. But other than that, we're just going to be as we are. That is going to be Peanuts. Going to try and go for the move here on the Alpine of Becken. The two countrymen aren't really too civil at the moment. They're in different teams. They know that they can work together, but they're also not willing to slow each other down. They are going to make sure that they make moves if one of them is slower, and I think that is a really good quality to have between two drivers. You know you can race each other hard, but also you know you can work together, and if you can communicate that well, you'll be able to do very good in the championship. And although these guys aren't in the same team in either F1 or F1.5, they're able to use it to their advantage. It has enabled both drivers to do incredibly well so far this season, and it has enabled Peanuts to win 3 Grand Prix in a row, looking for a 4th tomorrow. That is another time penalty there for Nipperjan, unfortunately getting another warning. That's brought them to that 6-second range, so we can consider that now about a 3-second time penalty to their car. Will he try and go for the move this time around though? He realises he's getting these penalties. He needs to try and make something work. Yet again, no one will be able to go for a move. They're all stuck where they are. They can't do anything. Looking at the train, looking at the tyres right now, these guys are doing enough to stay in front of PJ, who will be on the good tyres to go to the end, but a 10-second gap is way too much. The DRS trainers are immense around here. It's impossible to compete with. So yeah, it was a nice thought, but it's just not that possible. And as soon as one driver went for the medium tyre, everyone dives in, and that is it. The game is the game, and I'm sure we're going to be getting some more pit stops. We can't go all the way to the end on this hard. That is Igor going for the move on Tom Brayner. He's got the outside line. He's going to try and swoop it through. He is going to try and commit. He goes off the circuit. He has to yield. Yielding means Nipperjan's going to come through. He's not going to think twice about it whatsoever. He's going to have to slot in behind eventually, though. They are fighting hard, possibly going to be losing P2 and 1. They are going to be losing P2 and 1. Tom Brayner's not going to get DRS. These two are going to get DRS. They're fighting each other, though. They're not even fighting the Haas driver. So they've completely ruined it, and they're going to stay as they are. Igor does not want to give in. He is a former champion. He knows where he belongs, and that is further up the field. Nipperjan, he is a multi-race winner and on many recent occasions. So he isn't either going to be one to back down. But like I said, all that fighting, it has meant that now they've all lost out to the top 2, and that could be game over. It's going to be Heichler versus Dave Raptors for the Grand Prix victory today in the LSI F1 World Championship, and it is going to be both F1 drivers fighting, not any reserves. Heichler with a 3-second time penalty. I was saying it's Heichler versus Dave Raptors. Maybe it's just Dave Raptors versus time penalties. Unless he gets one later, it's looking pretty good for him right now. Igor so close to the back of Tom Brainer. These guys are basically pushing each other through the corners. Tom can't find a way to fight against this. Igor's going to go through. Nifojan is going to be right behind as well. I'm sure they're going to try and follow immediately. The other cars, I think the other Aston is a little bit too far back. There goes Igor. Nifo, P5, now going to try and make that P4. To the outside line he will be forced. He is going to be side by side with the Haas driver, and then he's going to try and get it done on the brakes, back on the accelerator momentarily. He's good to go. Very, very nicely done. Very clean there from Nifo, trying to redeem himself from earlier on. Tom Brainer is going to come back though. He doesn't want to give in. He knows what's at stake, but it's not going to be possible. Nifo's way too wise to fall for the switchback as well. They will be as they are. Lovely stuff indeed. Nifo losing the car though. They could have been in big trouble if they went any further. Almost 90 degrees. Alrighty, that is Dave Raptors. Heichler leading the Grand Prix. Dave made the switch as soon as he saw that Heichler got that time penalty. He can now control the pace. And then we have Igor in P3 at the moment. Net P2 with Nifo in P4. And Tom Brainer still looking at a possible P4. Maybe a podium if he can find a bit more time. That is Nifo right behind Igor, flapping the DRS a little bit just to make sure that he knows that he's not going to go for the overtake. He is going to hold back and let the Aston just drive the car, and they continue on their merry way. Igor goes very slightly defensive initially, but goes back to the racing line eventually. Tom Brainer not able to keep with these guys, so he's struggling a little bit, and Peanuts is going to be able to see that. He doesn't want his teammate to run away, otherwise they will not see them again around a circuit like this. You can never be too careful around Mexico. As you can see, the time penalties are kicking in and building up. Like 18 out of 36, we've still got a long way to go in this Grand Prix. And not a lot of grip either. That's a good point to make. 11 on these tyres. It's not going to get any easier for anyone. Alrighty, we're going to get a switch up. That is Igor Pro and Nifo switching around, and also a switch up further behind. We got Peanuts going to make that call to go in front of the Haas driver. He tries to send it as hard as he could. The Haas still trying to hold on, but a little bit of a wheel bang, and he is told he needs to stay back. That is it. That's how that is going to go. Becken, in the meantime, hasn't been able to hold on to this train. He now catches back up a little bit as these guys fight. But he must have lost out there at some point where I didn't realise, unless he had damage from all of that battling. Losing the rear as well, like Nifojan did just a moment ago. Yeah, very difficult corner, but more I am interested in is the front wing. He catches Tom Brainer in the corners though, so I think maybe he has just made a couple mistakes. I do have to say, fair play to these guys behind to be able to fight as hard as they are and still manage to be only a short distance behind the race leaders. That's Nifo into the pit lane, making that early call, going for the undercut. No one else has followed him in. So this could be very, very spicy for the AlphaTauri driver, looking to try and make it another win. As he won last season, he wants to try and win again. and he's going to be trying to fend for AlphaTauri this time around, as they don't have both their pairing at the circuit with them today. It is a fresh set of mediums. I believe some people might try and continue to go to the softs later, unless they just want to be making the safer choice, of course. Igor, of course, car in the middle has now dropped off, so that is about a 5/10 gap that he's lost. So really they haven't really lost any pace or time to the cars in front. They just haven't gained it either. As you could see, a very momentary loss of rear traction there for Dave Raptors. He goes off the circuit, he goes off the screen, and he comes back on the wrong way round, and he's down to P6. That was a very, very promising victory, all of a sudden lost. The strategy's going to kick in, and even more than ever is it going to be important. Heichler doesn't pit. He doesn't pit. I do not believe it. He's got a main rival who has just lost the car, and he's also got somebody who's just pitted. He hasn't reacted. I don't understand. That being said, neither is Peanuts or Becken. They don't have time penalties. Tom Brainer has made a very good call, and Igor Pro, of course. They react to Nifo. They don't have time penalties themselves. They're good to go. But yeah, I don't understand that. That is a very interesting one. Tom Brainer's just going to come out in front of PJ, and they will not be challenged. I say that. They might be challenged. That is going to be PJ having a quick look, but he will not actually try and send it. He can see the situation a little bit better. Becken isn't in a position to now look for that race win. Now he's got that time penalty. Peanuts isn't either, so to be honest. They still need to find 4/10 on Heichler if they do want to challenge here. The top guys are staying out, and they're going to try and maybe make the strategy work in a different way. Dave Raptors might even consider trying to go all the way to the end. That being said, with a set of spun up tyres, he probably will have a pretty hard time doing so. Nifojan has got a significant undercut to Igor and Tom. 2.4 seconds they have right now, and they still have to warm their tyres up a little bit. So well played there from Nifo. Maybe Heichler will now see that, but no, he's still going to stay out and just live with it for now. Becken has got DRS on Peanuts in front, so they're kind of driving on their own. They've gained a 10th to Heichler overall. That's still not really enough. DRS available here for Tom Brainer, and he's going to catch up a lot to the Aston Martin. He is going to go for the move to the inside line, and the Aston's just not going to let him go. I was going to say it's going to let him go. He still tries to fend it. He's on the inside line, rides the curb, bumps over it. He's not going to get DRS to fight that one back. That is going to be the Haas driver through, and they're going to now have to do their best to catch up to Nifo. They haven't lost that much time after that slingshot, so fair play indeed. I say that though, they have actually lost quite a lot of time, because that's not Nifo in front. That is JJ in front, who's just been overtaken by Nifo recently, although he has been long gone. 3.8 seconds, Nifojan is behind Dave Raptors, who is next in line, who hasn't pitted. That is an absolutely incredible gap that he's managed to bring down. Peanuts is going to eventually react. Is it too little too late though? If it's going to be any time, it will be now. That is well said. But Heichler and Becken, they're either just absolutely ruining it, or they're definitely going for the softs. There's no question about it. There you go. You'll see Nifo storm past. You'll see everybody storm past. JJ is in the lead of this battle at the moment, and you can see in the background there goes the Aston Martin out of the pit lane. Tom Brainer's going to go through. Igor's not going to. He's going to try and send it late on the brakes. He will have an opportunity on the exit. JJ gets a time penalty as he goes off the circuit. DRS available. It's not in a straight line though, just a moment on the ERS, and it's enough to be able to take that position. JJ tried his absolute best. He's now split up the two cars, so it's worked out in Tom Brainer's favour. But yeah, a bit frustrating for Igor, but it's all fair play indeed. Different strategies, but you know, JJ wants to try and do the best he possibly can. maybe fighting it that hard wasn't the best idea if he did want to try and stay within DRS, but it's happened now, and we'll see how it goes. Nifo so close to the back of Dave Raptors, who just seems to be losing time after time after time to the top two. Will he go into the pit lane and react immediately to Becken and Heischler? He's going to stay out, and Nifo is going to get the DRS, and he's going to make that overtake. And I am very, very curious to see how that one went. He's defending the position, Dave Raptors, using the energy. Tom Brainer's caught up massively. You can see how much he's been slowed down by. These guys have history. Nifojan, not the happiest when it comes to racing Dave Raptors, because he's slowed him down so many times for no reason and lost him race victories. And this could be it again. That being said, you can see how far Heischler and Becken are behind. They are so far back in the pack. They've got a lot of work to do if they want to catch up and get to the leaders. That being said, Nifo still has some big time penalties. Right now, the strongest candidate for winning this Grand Prix is Igor. Alrighty, lap 24 to 36. It is getting on a little bit now. We still have time to go. Nifo making that call. Will it pay off? We will see. But Tom Brainer, he's got to try and get past Dave Raptors, who's given equal treatment. So Nifo's going to be pretty pleased with that one. He didn't want to see him get fought and no one else. So luckily for him, he's going to be able to continue. It must be a soft tyre strategy here for the McLaren. The Aston's also going to try and get through. It's not going to work. There's contact again. That's going to be Dave Raptors going over the curbs, as I don't really know what happened there. It was all a little bit of a mess. Tom Brainer gets through, but Igor immediately follows, and Heischler is going to be up next to try and get past this McLaren. Did not realize how slow these tyres really would be. That being said, I've just looked at the age. That is fair enough, to be honest. 1 lap old medium tyres compared to 18 lap old medium tyres. He's already made the move before they've even got to the braking zone. He is through, and he's going to just break away in the high speed sections. The grip is absolutely unreal. That being said, he will get DRS off of that Ferrari. Nifo leads the way, 2.8 seconds now. He's doing everything he needs to do to be able to stay in front of at least Tom Brainer, but as long as Igor plays his cards right and doesn't fight too much, he'll be good to go, and he can win this Grand Prix. Heischler, he's going to have some questions, of course. He wants to try and come through, but he also has that time penalty. Now, Igor's going to go for that move. Tom Brainer isn't really going to have anything that you can do about it. And like I said, everybody's got to try and think here, because they can all get some pretty good results. 2.4 seconds is the gap. Igor would have had a bit of a slingshot, and they will get DRS again to be able to defend from Tom Brainer and catch up a little bit more to Nifojan. It's just whether he'll be able to hold on enough. Considering that 3-second time penalty at the start maybe wasn't actually legitimate, Nifo could really be on a 3-second time penalty. That being said, he does have a lap fresher tyres, which might make the difference in this Grand Prix, but he does need to try and still dig deep, Igor. It's not over. It is not over. 26 out of 36. We are about to start 10 laps remaining of the Grand Prix when we cross the line with Nifojan. 2.8 seconds is the gap. It is breaking away a little bit. Nifo may have got some extra warnings, so it might be a 6-second time penalty in theory, and if that is the case, then Igor is good to go, of course, but other than that, it's going to be very, very, very interesting. Tom Brainer, 5/10 behind. He's going to be catching massively. He is going to be going for that move. If he's closing at that rate, he's going to go for it. And that is going to be Igor letting it happen. He's not really going to fight it. There's no questions about it. He's just got to have it, unfortunately. And yeah, maybe he'll be able to go back through sooner rather than later. He's got to think pretty hard of where he goes for those moves. He's got to try and communicate with Tom Brainer to make sure that he knows that he's not going for moves in certain corners, of course. That is Dave Raptors losing the car. Now, Heischler wants to try and get in front of Tom Brainer. He wants to try and be as close as he can, if not in front of Nifojan. And Igor is going to be all in the middle of it. He's basically just going to be the one who, just has to sit there and see what happens, because they've got so much to lose. They've got to hope that the other guys don't fight that hard. But also he doesn't want to let these guys just kind of walk all over him. So, he wants to try and make these moves, but he has to make sure that he thinks. And that is going to be everything mixed up massively as Dave Raptors retires on the exit of the entry to the third sector. And that is going to be very, very controversial indeed. Now, who's going to make a pit stop? Who's not going to make a pit stop? I think everybody's going to have to go for the soft tyres. Eagle Pro and Peanuts, the two Aston Martins, the only ones without time penalties, are going to be loving this. They've got to stay out of trouble though, and they have to make sure that they don't get any time penalties. New tyres, new grip, new feelings. It's very easy to get things wrong. This is going to be an interesting end to the Grand Prix. Two retirements this Grand Prix. Very, very big names as well to the scene who were looking strong for this event. And now it's going to be up to everybody else to decide who will get the victory that they've all wanted. And now Zingy's gone, it is a lot more promising. That is going to be Nifo getting a 5-second time penalty. Heischler gets a further 3-second time penalty. Eagle gets a 5-second time penalty for contact with Heischler. What happened there? He's going to get a front wing change. Peanuts, believe it or not, is not going to be able to jump his teammate. He will not be able to get in front in the pit stop section, and he's going to be held up massively. He's also got damage himself, so he's going to actually be at the very back of the pack, only in front of PJ. I did not expect that to happen. Now, Igor, I don't know what happened with that incident. Might try and get that time penalty removed, but I don't know. That was a weird one between those guys, and we didn't quite get to see it. I'm sure we will get to find out after the race, of course. That could have been the difference between winning and losing a Grand Prix. That being said, Eagle's still got track priority over his teammate, who definitely doesn't have any time penalties. He's got a car in between him as well, so that's even more beneficial. But we'll see. Eagle's got to not only make sure he stays out of trouble, he's got to try and make some progress up front. If he doesn't, Tom Brainer could try and use Nifo to break away. That'll be more beneficial for Nifo, of course, if he can minimise the impact to the cars behind, but also Tom Brainer, who seems to be the one with the least time penalties out of the top few drivers, of course. I did not realise they had 11 seconds, of course, so we've got 2 6 seconds and then a 5 seconds. So that is for Nifo, that is for Heischler, 3 seconds for Tom Brainer, 3 seconds for Becken, a 5 seconds that might try and be contested from Igor. It is going to be Nifo to come in and serve that time penalty immediately, as he knows PJ's not going to catch up immediately. So they are going to get some fresh tyres on, and they will continue. So they're trying to hope that going into the pit lane, and even if they're going to be last, is a better option. That being said, PJ's going to actually come into the pit lane himself, and he'll be good to go. That's also going to be an extra lap of rubber there for Nifo to help him out in his journey. So, you know, it's not a bad situation, or he's tried to make it as soft as possible. Of course, damage-wise, Tom Brainer now leads the Grand Prix yet again. And he's got a driver who is absolutely caked with time penalties in P2. I'm sure there's going to be questions about whatever happened in the pit lane. And then we've got Becken in P3, Igor in P4. JJ back into this race again. If he can just try and mix around the field, he might find himself in a good result. But, you know, you can really see it. Ultimately, Peanuts, if he can make a couple of moves, doesn't need to overtake everyone, he could win this Grand Prix. He could win his first ever LSI F1 Grand Prix, as he didn't get the seat in the end, as he decided to himself go to F1.5 for the season. He might find himself getting a victory here, and that would just give him even more confidence into Mexico. Now, Tom Brainer yet again leading the safety car restart. Heisler yet again being the one to react. When will Tom Brainer go for it? He's gone for it already. Heisler's reacted well this time though, not fallen for it a second time running. And will he try and challenge into the first corner? I believe he will, using the energy to try and catch up. That is a brick wall in front of Tom Brainer. Slipstream for the Heisler in P2, sending it late on the brakes. There's contact. They just about keep it in a straight line. He's dropping back, but he still keeps his nose in, and he just about voids the wheel, the rear wheel of Tom Brainer in the Haas car. He's yet again going to go to the inside line, as he really wants to try and get into the lead right here. Tom Brainer's not going to give him. They're now to the inside line. There's going to be a wheel bang. They're still side by side. The double right-handers coming up. They're going to bring it all the way into the S section. Ahead is Tom Brainer, but on the brakes and on the inside line is Heisler. The switchback is available, but it's not going to work. He spins round. The aggression did not pay off. We've got Peanuts in P5 trying to make moves. Can they get it done on the Alfa Romeo? No, the Alfa Romeo is going to send it on the other Aston Martin. It's going to be 3 wide. Nifo's going to find his way through immediately. JJ's going to make contact with the AlphaTauri, and the AlphaTauri is not going to be happy whatsoever by having contact with a reserve driver. DRS isn't available. That's Peanuts getting a 5-second penalty for gaining a place off the circuit. Don't know how that will work out. But what the hell just happened there? That is Eagle in P3. They are still ahead of their teammate. That's Becken having to defend from Nifo here, who's still looking at a better exit, but they've unfortunately not been able to judge the speed that was PJ was carrying right there. PJ just not able to carry the correct amount of speed, and getting the better exit there was JJ, who is able to challenge yet again the AlphaTauri, who's almost finding himself in last place. If you take away, of course, Tom Brainer having that incident, but they just about settle down now. They've not got long of this Grand Prix to go. Heisler leads the way, Becken in P3, and Igor in a very strong P3. Now, P2 for Becken, sorry, I should say. Peanuts and Igor are in an interesting situation. Peanuts is probably going to argue, alright, I didn't actually overtake off the circuit. There was just lots of things happening. Igor's going to argue maybe that he could try and get that time penalty removed. Regardless, Becken is now in a very strong position and might be on cue to win this Grand Prix if he can make this time penalty work. I just want to double check that he has got a 3-second, and he does. He does. That is going to be no one going for the switch up this time around. They will all stay as they are. Nifo is on the charge though, you can see it. He is looking aggressive, he's looking ready to go for moves. He's using everything that he has left, at least in the car. Nothing left for the Alpine driver, so it's going to be on the brakes, but he's not quite going to get the confidence to go for it just yet. He's going to allow the Alpine to breathe and maybe push the catch up if they can. I say Becken. I keep saying Becken. It's PJ in P5. Becken's in P2. Not close enough to Heischler, who is leading the Grand Prix by quite a nice margin at the moment. But still, that being said, the Alpine is doing enough to maintain the net race lead on the Ferrari driver. Igor close to the back of Peanuts. Igor needs to try and just stay steady, make sure that he's in front of his teammate at all times, make sure that he's staying within DRS range of the car in front, and that he can defend from his teammate at all times. He's not got long to go, and he'll be good to go. PJ, unfortunately, losing the kart, and he's going to be pretty frustrated with that one at the closing stages of the Grand Prix. That's going to be Nifajan doing his best to hold on to JJ, who is right there and unleashed, but DRS still available for Niffer as he got the detection point, and now he's got clean air to the cars in front. Can he catch up? It's been such a whirlwind for this man, having an incident, having a masterclass strategy, having a safety car that's ruined it all, and then having just a dramatic last few laps so far. And lap 34 to 36, it's almost coming to a close. Heischler, though, has lost out to Becken, who's caught up amazingly, and he might actually try and get this on circuit. If he can get this done, it will be a second Grand Prix victory in the LSI F1 World Championship. And the last one was at Brazil, of course, against Zingy. This time it will be, he won that in a Ferrari. This time it will be against a Ferrari. Tom Brainer getting another 3 second, having a worse day than it already was. Heischler leads, but not for long. Becken takes it, and they are going to lead as they get to the final 2 laps of the Grand Prix. Is that the right call to make it work now? Igor sits in P3, and he's just doing everything that he needs to right now. He can't really do any more. He's just got to stay where he is. Heischler, he's also doing everything he can right now. Becken's doing a great job. Peanuts needs to find a bit more. They have to make an overtake on their teammate if they want to get a good result here. We don't entirely know the situation on time penalties. That's why I'm saying this. He has to get in front of his teammate at least if he wants any chance at taking victory here. Becken, as it stands, will win the Grand Prix if this result stays. But post-race penalties, it's all up for debate with many drivers. We will see. We're about to start the final lap of the Grand Prix. Becken leads the way. Heischler's going to be racy. He knows what he needs to do. He's going to want to make that move on the circuit. Regardless, he's going to use all the energy he can. And so will Becken. DRS is all it takes to make the overtake, though. He's going to go to the inside line. He's going to take the inside line, and Igor's going to try and even make the move on circuit if he can. He could be in trouble if he loses out to his teammate, but his teammate's nowhere to be seen in all of this. DRS available, ERS available, as least of what can be used, and that is going to be Igor making that overtake, and that is going to be P2 on circuit for now. And they do lose out a little bit to Heischler, but Igor's not going to be too disappointed with that one, considering the time penalty situation. That was a very tactical move, and we've only got a couple more corners to go. Heischler is going to lead to cross the line. Igor's going to be in P2 and looking for a strong position after time penalties, but Becken right now, statistically, as we can see, is going to be able to win this Grand Prix. We come round the final few corners. We have to at least watch this man cross the line first. What a drive. Lots of people have put in. Heischler crosses the line first, but Becken is going to win the Mexican Grand Prix. Igor Pro P2, Peanuts in P3, Heischler to P5 as JJ makes the overtake, Niffer in P6, then Tom Brainer, followed by PJ at the very end. And as of now, this man has won his second ever LSI F1 World Championship race. What a way to go into tomorrow's race where it really matters for this man in the EU Championship. He hasn't won a race this season. His good old friend Peanuts has won everything with absolute dominance. Becken's always been there, of course, though, getting a P2 in USA most recently. And it's going to be a heck of a championship battle for these guys. But how about that? A crazy one. Ignore that retirement from Heischler. That will not mean anything for his final position, of course. Becken gets P1. That is a victory. Driver of the day to Igor, as he drove a phenomenal race as well. And we will find out what goes on very, very shortly. That is Becken on the top step, waving that flag that we have seen so many times recently. That is Becken winning the Grand Prix, Ilya Pro in P2, then Peanuts in P3, JJ Niffo, Tom Brainerd, PJ Heischler, who will actually finish in front of Nifojan in P5, and then DNFing was Dave Raptors and Cohen. We're going to go through the race director just in case. I think we definitely will need to go for the race director for this one, of course. And then we will go to the pit stop section as always, and then we will finally head back to the results for one quick look. We'll be back for the post-race interviews. We will see you in a bit. Hello everyone and welcome back to the LSI F1 World Championship. We're today for the post-race interviews of the Mexican Grand Prix. That was a nuts one. We didn't see the reigning champion in today's race, but we got as much excitement as we will ever get. Becken, wow, you've done it again. You've won an LSI F1 race, and yeah, I don't know. Can you take us through it?
Well, first of all, my setup was very high wing, so I was mugged on the straight constantly. I honestly don't know how I won. I guess everyone's sped in the pit lane, but I don't think I deserved that win in the slightest.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I mean,
Yeah.
you've been honest there. Confidence for tomorrow. Are you excited?
I mean, I'll change my setup, but I don't know if I'll be able to find a good one, because, you know, dog shit, to be honest, but we'll see for tomorrow. We'll see.
I mean, last minute setup changes are never easy, but you know what? You've got it under your belt. You've got the confidence. You know what you can do. Well done today. Next Grand Prix is the Austrian Grand Prix. Do you think you can do well there?
I won it last season, so hopefully I can do well.
Yeah.
I had good pace done, so I don't know how I'll be now, but let's hope.
Definitely can't go for high wings there. You're going to have to be careful. Thank you very much, Becken. We'll see you next time. One last question. How would you describe your race in 3 words?
Slow top speed.
Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time. Well done today. Great effort. And we move on to Heischler. Heischler, that was a tough race. Strong pace, just a tough race.
Yeah, I have to disappoint back, and I watched the footage back, and I got like a 3-second time penalty and speeding in the pit lane at once. And I looked it back. I was within the white line, like that right line, if you know what I mean. And I watched the speed I was going, and that was also within the speed limit. So I think the penalty can be removed, although I don't have the race director, so I'm not sure. But at least I can check the footage after it if I got any other track limits. But yeah, if it gets removed, I get the win. But yeah. I don't know what to say about the rest of the race. It was a bit annoying that I couldn't shake off Dave. I was close all the time, but he did well to keep within until he made a mistake. And then I thought, okay, now I have control over the race. Sorry, I was distracted by a message. Control of the race. So I thought, okay, at first I thought let's pit immediately, but then I thought maybe wait a bit longer, extend the stint a little bit, so I have fresher tires at the end because of my penalty. So I decided to do that, and then the safety car came on a really shit moment. I am quite sure if that didn't happen, I would have overtaken Igor and Tom, I believe it was, on that straight, and then just pull away. And I know Nifo had a 6-second time penalty, so I would have won that way as well. But yeah, we have to wait in the steward room if I actually get this win or not.
It's going to be a lot of anticipation, and it's not a nice way for things to go, but regardless, you did have some very good pace, and thank you very much for some very exciting racing. Regardless of the result for this time around, do you think you can do well at Austria? Does it suit you?
Definitely, I think I can do definitely well at Austria. I can remember from last time we were there, I could easily stay with Zingy, or maybe even be quicker than Zingy last season. So, and we traded a lot of DRS back then, so I think we can have a clean battle again next race as well. So I hope I get this win and be a lot more in the title fight, and win in Austria again as well.
Awesome. Thank you very much, and well said. One last question. How would you describe your race in 3 words?
Good luck, stewards.
Thank you very much. We'll see you next time. Well done today, and great effort.
Thank you.
And we move on to Peanuts. Peanuts, that was a crazy one. Didn't quite have it in the end, but yeah, I don't know. It was tough.
Yeah, no, it was quite tough out there. I mean, I was struggling quite a lot because there's one specific tire which was wearing a lot more than all the others. So I had like 10 more % and end of the stint on my, it would be a left back tire. And it was just a struggle bus from there. But I did get, to be honest, JJ happened. I don't know why, but it was like I broke my wing. And then the safety car came out, luckily. And then JJ kind of rammed into a car in front. And I tried to take avoiding action, so I went a few millimeters off track, and then I got league overtake.
Okay, makes sense. I'm sure that will get looked into. It's not any fun, of course, even if you do definitely know it's not fair, but it happens, and we'll have to look at it eventually. Thank you very much. Do you think you can do well tomorrow? Do you know what went wrong today and how you can figure it out?
I mean, I don't really fully know how to figure it out tomorrow, but I know that I will figure out more tomorrow than what today. Today was just horrid. Like, I mean, I think I would want a little more straight line speed. I felt like I need to learn how to preserve my tires more, because, I mean, well, one of my tires were dying, and it makes no sense, because I was talking to Becken in the Discord call, and it was like, all 3 of my tires had the same tire wear. Just specifically one of my tires had 10% more.
Damn, that's tough. That is tough. Makes the car very unstable. Austria, it's a different circuit, lots of straight braking zones and straight traction zones. Do you think you can do well there?
Yeah, I think I could do well there as long as I qualify. Austria is the most annoying track on the calendar, only because you don't have to be quick to keep up with a lot quicker person than what you are yourself. Because like it's only straights.
I agree.
So, and there's barely no corners, so I mean there's really not that much as a driver you're doing.
Someone agrees on me. I'm sure there's many people that agree with me, but yep, that's Austria for you. Thank you very much, Peanuts. And one last question: how would you describe your race in 3 words?
Okay.
Is that the words? That's how you're going to describe it?
Yeah, that's the 2 words.
Fair enough. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time. Well done today, and great effort.
Thank you.
And we move on to Tom Brainer. Tom Brainer, that was a tough race, but amazing pace to begin the Grand Prix. Can you take us through it?
Yeah, I was pretty surprised on my pace in qualifying, so I don't know how I started in the front row. And then I just thought I'd try the same strategy as last season with Dave together, where we were both on the soft and tried to pull away. This time it worked for me, so I was pretty happy about it. Unluckily, the safety car came out, so I lost all the time I gained at this point. Struggled a lot to keep up with the guys on my first stint on the mediums, but was pretty happy with my straight line speed. And then as Nifo tried to undercut, I just wanted to cover him off. Got pretty lucky with how far I got to the front again. The safety car at the end, I think, saved me because my pace on the soft is was so good in my first stint, and I hope I can get a really good result. In the end, it was a really unlucky incident, I would say. We and the stewards should take a look on it, especially for me, to see how much fault I held for tomorrow's race to learn of it. But I would say my race pace was really great.
Yeah, I agree. It was a crazy race, but your pace is really up there. It's proven that last weekend just wasn't a one-off. You've definitely made that step up, so well done today regardless. Such a shame for that safety car, which just kind of put it on a downwards trajectory, but you gave it your best shot, and that's all we can ask. Austria, do you like that circuit?
I really love Austria. I mean, I showed in last F1.5 season how much pace I've got on this track. I nearly won the race. So I would say I'm pretty confident on it, and I'm looking forward to go on this track after a hopefully great race tomorrow.
Awesome. Thank you very much. I'm looking forward to it. Thank you, Tom. One last question. How would you describe your race in 3 words?
Great race pace.
Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time. Well done today. Awesome effort. And that's been it. Thank you very much, everybody, for watching. It's been a pleasure. We will see you next time for the Austrian Grand Prix. We'll see you tomorrow night for the Mexican Grand Prix for the F1.5 EU Championship. Thank you again, once again, and we will see you tomorrow.